episode of the Fashion Grunge podcast. I have no idea when this is going to come out, but you will probably enjoy it if you like music documentaries, if you like grunge at all. Hopefully you do if you're listening to this. If not, you will probably learn to love it. This is one of my favorite films ever, and I've got my friend Jai here that's going to talk about it with me. We are talking about 1991, The Year Punk Broke, which is a great documentary on the Sonic Youth and Nirvana. Well, it's really the Sonic Youth tour of Europe in 91, but it also includes Nirvana, the Ramones, Dinosaur Jr., Babes in Toyland, Gumball, and I believe that's it, as far as I know. But yeah, we're here to talk about it, so...
Hello.
Yeah, this is Jai. So yeah, we're here to talk about it, and yeah, so let's get into it. It was released in 1992 in theaters. I wish I saw it, but I was, alas, too young to see it. But directed by David Markey, who did, I think, also the photography for this film, too. And it's just, I don't know, it's really weird. You can find it on, I believe, Amazon Prime, and you can probably find it on iTunes. It's not super hard to find, but they also have it on DVD. And if you, I mean, it's a great film to own if you really like this music and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I guess we're just going to get right into it.
Cool. I watched it for the first time with Lauren last week.
Yeah.
Or the week before.
Yeah, I think it was last week we watched it. Yeah.
And I have not seen any documentaries from the 90s in a really long time. So it was really cool to see just how everything was done before phones and digital everything. I wish I had been older at the time. I probably would have watched it when it came out, but I didn't. I didn't even really know about it until you told me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew about it when I was, I don't know, it was probably late 90s. It was probably high school. And I remember watching it on tape once. I don't know if I rented it or where, but that was it. And then I bought it on DVD, I think, when it came out in 2011. I think is when it actually was out for release. And obviously, I'm a huge Nirvana and Sonic Youth fan, so...
90s fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm a fan of the 90s in general, but so I was like, oh, I have to buy this. It's out. So it was really cool. So yeah, this whole thing is kind of done in a very kind of rogue guerrilla, a guy with a camcorder, but the one awesome thing about it is it's super personal, and I feel like you really don't see much footage of Nirvana as a band, like all three of them, in the very beginnings of their fame, because this was in, I think, August of 91, and not Smells Like Teen Spirit, but Nevermind came out, I think, the next month, but it wasn't big until the video came out.
That's
so
right.
They had, this wasn't Nirvana as most people know it, as them being the headliner, it was a Sonic Youth tour. So they were very much hey, let's bring our friends along, they're a really great band. They're probably going to be, probably big. I think they had obviously no idea how big that they would end up being. But yeah, so I'm so glad that they commissioned David Markey to do this, because I feel like it's just such a great slice of 90s music history.
And you see a different side to Kurt, because all the other documentaries about him, or he's more reserved or serious, and you don't really see him playing around you do, and it's so nice to see that side.
Yeah, it's nice to see it naturally. Yeah, instead of, I mean, Montage of Heck was good. I mean, we'll definitely probably review that. But that was very choreographed. They brought people there to talk about Kurt Cobain, and they obviously talk about old stories, but this is there's no narration. They were just being
themselves. And
yeah.
I feel that's who they were. You can really see Dave Grohl as well being just how he is.
Yeah, and then their 20s, they're kids really. I mean, they just got really, really famous. And Sonic Youth is a bit older. Age-wise, they're 10, I think maybe 10 years older than the members of Nirvana. So they're almost that big, there's a big brother kind of oh, they're the little kids, and they're acting crazy. But obviously Sonic Youth has been playing since the 80s. So they've been playing for a while.
But I also think it'd be really cool for people to watch it, younger people now, because I don't think, well, in fact, you're never going to see documentaries like that film again,
No.
because everything is so staged now. Like when musicians make documentaries, everything seems more like they're really aware that they're being filmed and everything's kind of choreographed. And I feel like you don't see kind of raw films like that anymore.
No. And now people can rehearse, you know? You have a phone, you could rehearse in the mirror if you want to seem a certain way, if you know someone's coming over to film you, or if you know this is being filmed. But...
And it's also really cool to see, like, people not being on their phones.
Yeah.
Like, the crowds, the festivals, like, the members, they're just like having fun, they're spending like quality time with each other. You're never gonna have that again.
No,
it doesn't exist.
No, it won't exist.
Like, people get so distracted and people are not in the moment because they're just like on their phones checking or posting. Back then it was just like, I don't know, it's just different. Like, everyone just seems more like kind of like happier and like more in the moment. They're just doing what they're doing and there's not distractions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of so many shows that I've been to and concerts and things. Like, I don't have obviously physical proof. I mean, the only thing I had was my ticket. If I had a ticket that wasn't will call or something, but now I have a ticket, but I don't have a, you know, staged memory. I know what that show was like and I can go back to it in my head, but I can't. Yeah, when you go to shows now, it's just, I mean, it's crazy.
It is. You don't really enjoy it as much, and it's really hard because you're distracted by people's phones.
We're those
like,
old people.
We're right at the back, and all you see is like phones up in the air. You can't even watch the band, and people are talking, and then if you go to the very front, people will be filming the entire thing on their phones, and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of shitty, really.
It is. It is really shitty. And the thing about it that really sucks is that younger kids don't know any better.
Well,
so it's not their fault because they think that it's okay because everyone does it. This is like
all they know, and I think it's shitty for us because we're obviously a bit older and we know that it was, you know, there was a different...
It was just different.
It was like a different world almost. And like, it's just sad. Like, even if... I mean, I hate to be nostalgic about the past, but I feel like I am doing that constantly because the past was so much better than now. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. I have to say, I mean, I'm really anxious to listen to things about when this time is 20 years old. I mean, what people are going to say about the fact that we have mobile phones and all this kind of stuff, when now it'll probably be in like your eye or in like a watch or something that they'll be like, how can you carry phones around? I can't believe
like
we used to carry these phones.
That, you know, like you just see everything inside your brain.
Yeah, like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, like
literally like a Black Mirror episode. But yeah, let's get into the film here. The beginning is literally just this random freestyle with Thurston. Okay, Thurston Moore, one of the singers and guitarists of Sonic Youth, is a major player in this entire film. He loves to talk about random things and definitely is not camera shy and probably the complete opposite of Kurt Cobain. If you had to put the two people next to each other, not shy.
Literally the opposite.
Yeah, the complete opposite.
And even Kim.
Yeah.
She seems so like, I mean, I'm guessing she's an introvert. I mean, I actually know because I read her memoir.
Yeah, she's got a great book called A Girl in the
She's kind of happy to be in the background doing her thing, and Thurston obviously is like, you know.
Yeah, he's
really
like
vocal and like, yeah.
Yeah, he's super vocal throughout the whole thing. And then in the very beginning, we just get this weird freestyle of Thurston, and then just casually the camera pans over to friggin' Kim Gordon and Kurt Cobain, which is so weird to see now that you're like, whoa. And they're just like regular people, you know, just hanging out, just being goofy, probably before the concert. Time to Kill.
It would have been cool to see like Kurt talk, like as in like, I don't know, questions, or like if we had just seen him being in front of the camera more like that.
Yeah.
Obviously he doesn't, that's not who he was.
And this was, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Sonic Youth commissioned David Markey to do this for them. So maybe, I'm wondering if that's a reason why.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, it is very Sonic Youth focused. And there is a film called Nirvana Live Tonight Sold Out, which is, I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I've never seen it.
It's a great documentary of Nirvana, but it's very I mean, it's really cool, but it's not like this. It's not very like a one person thing. It's very much like a lot of the famous performances that you've seen, like from Reading, from
Oh, okay, yeah.
you know, all the other like big performances that you know have seen everywhere, like the Paramount. They're spliced in between, so you can tell that it was made after he died. It was probably made
Oh,
in
I
like
see. Okay,
'96, I
makes sense.
guess.
Yeah.
And then they have bits of interviews like thrown in, but they're mostly the interviews that you've all seen. There are a few that are like kind of random tour footage, but I think the most intimate thing of Nirvana that I've seen is Montage of Heck, because
Which
that
I've
was
seen,
literally
yeah.
like, yeah, like they were all filming. I guess like Kurt and Courtney had that camera in that whole movie. But
But
anyway,
even then, he didn't want to be like. He
no,
didn't like that attention. I don't think.
no, it was like I just want to play music, you know.
Where can we watch that other one that you?
That one is on DVD, and also you can buy it on demand. I mean,
Oh,
it's
cool.
almost like this one. I mean, if you want to buy it, you can buy the DVD, and I don't think it's very expensive. It's probably like under $20, but it's definitely worth it if you're a Nirvana fan, or even if you're not and you just want to watch it. It's a really good mix of all their performances and a little bit of personal. If you don't
That
want to
sounds
watch
cool.
Montage of Heck, because some people don't really care about Kurt Cobain that much. They just care about Nirvana. But yeah. So anyway, this whole after Thurston's freestyling, there's just a whole lot of just like there's a lot of random things of Thurston just walking up to people in the street, like random kids and
Interviewing
stuff.
them,
Yeah, interviewing them with this mic with the cord, like the old school mics that were portable.
Yeah. But also they're in another country, so they're
Yeah.
like, I don't think they speak English very well, so he's asking really crazy questions and like
Really weird.
and they're really weird, they're really intense, and like I don't think they even know what he's talking about.
No, but it just seems very. I don't know. It's just it seems very Thurston. It just seems very.
I think young Thurston.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Because he's
now.
like older persona is so not like that. I
Is
mean,
he
obviously
like a
he's
recluse?
older.
He's not a recluse though, because he's out and about. It's not like he's like.
But I don't think you like he doesn't. You never see interviews of him like.
No,
now.
I haven't.
Like I think he's just like he just wants to be known for his music and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably true. I mean, he's been in the news, or him, you know, they were in the news a lot when they separated or when they divorced. So that's the last time I remember hearing about Thurston, but I don't like keep up with his solo career that much. I guess it's something that I probably should, because I'm sure I'll probably like it.
He like lives in London, in East London, and I've seen him many times, like just like at the cinema, at gigs. He plays at like experimental shows
Oh, okay.
a lot, just like on his own.
Oh, that's cool.
But he also plays with his band in like festivals, like English festivals and stuff. But he seems kind of just into the music. I don't think he wants people to talk about him as a
as Thurston.
No.
Yeah, as Sonic Youth, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I also think watching this is like you see a completely different side to him. But I think this is like young Thurston.
Yeah.
Which,
you obviously
you're
change.
different. You change.
Yeah. It's really weird. But then also it'll go through little spurts of random kind of little vignettes of stuff and Thurston asking random questions, and then the first song is a Sonic Youth song. I believe it's Teenage Riot, and that song's great, and you get to see the full song. Sometimes you just see like 2 minutes, but in this film you actually see the full performance that they all do.
Song.
Yeah, it's so great. And I could literally watch stuff like this all day. I mean, even if bands that I like listen to now, if they did something like this, I would be down to watch it, because I just feel like you'd never see this anymore. I mean, but the thing is, it would just look so different, because even on their off time, people were just on phones. Here they were forced to kind of hang out, because what are you gonna do? You're not gonna get on a phone. Like, who are you gonna call? You're with your band. So
I can't really think of any documentary, like music documentary, like news.
Like a
cool
new one.
Or, I mean, I don't really think there are that many cool artists out there anyway.
No.
It's like new ones,
Well, now they have. Now the thing is, it's just become so easy to make music videos, and you can make things on your phone. Like back then, you had to have someone with a camera and who's going to edit it, and where are you going to put it? There was no YouTube. It was like we just have to make it, and then. I don't know if the label wants to put it out, then they will. I mean, because this came out in '92, but I don't know that it got distributed.
92, that's like.
I know.
Oh my god.
Like they had a theatrical release, which is so cool. I wish in '92 I saw it in the theater. That'd be so cool.
I think you should request it.
I'm pretty sure you can. You can request
you can
anything.
go to like a local, like old theater or something.
That will be when there's a Fashion Grunge live show. We'll just have a whole bunch of people
you can do that in
watching all these documentaries.
You can do that in
stuff.
London in some places. Like you can request.
The film. And then just have it. That'd be really cool.
Like it's normally like Saturdays at midnight.
Oh.
It's cool.
Reason number 851 why London's really cool. Like, it's like, just let me go there, please. I mean, it'll be cool. We will. Don't worry. So then we got the first Sonic Youth song. Then my notes are really funny. They literally just say Thurston Show. And then the next is Nirvana, and they're playing the song School, and it just sounds fucking amazing.
So amazing.
Like they always seem to, which is really cool. Then there's this weird segment with Thurston asking people in the street, but it's more about like a political rant, and because
it is a political rant.
Yeah, George Bush was the father. George Bush was the president at that time, 91. So there was kind of like, this kind of like contentious thing going on in the U.S. and the like Persian Gulf and Iraq War. Like, there's a whole lot going on. So that kind of brings it more into that kind of punk space where it's political and very, like we want to speak out against things we don't agree in, which is really cool.
Which is really cool, yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. Which is still happening now, which I like that aspect of now, that people are more involved.
People are more, like, out there with their views and stuff, and I think it's cool to see, like, even actors and musicians involved.
Yeah, I think it's good too.
Influence, like...
And just to even... I know a lot of people are kind of... I mean, obviously, I don't want to obviously make this whole thing political, but a lot of people don't like when artists do that, or musicians, or, actors when they are political. But I don't mind. I don't mind what side they're on. Even if they're on the other side, they should be able to express it, obviously, just
And I also
like
think
we
it's
do.
like, with, like, popularity and, like, power, I think it's, like, responsibility, like the things that you like talk about or like put out there, and like that a lot of people have access to it because you're like, I don't know, like,
you're influential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now I think we're moving into the whole way of thinking, especially for, I know, like Nirvana, and like during this time, it was like you want to get your stuff out to the masses. Obviously, like they were very underground for a long time, and so is Sonic Youth. And it's like, oh, cool, we've got someone that's gonna play our music out to the masses. That's great. And now I feel like the beginning of social media was very, let's get everyone we can, like let's get as many followers as we can. And now, because all the algorithms are shifting and it's not like that, it's like, well, I'm happy with this core base that I have. Like,
exactly.
I'm going to talk to just 20 people instead of trying to get 200 that don't care. Yeah, exactly. They just want to, like my stuff, So that's cool. And I feel like that's very much like, I think that's very much, I don't know that much about Sonic Youth in the way I know about Nirvana, because I guess I don't really, like, study them like that, but I know Kurt Cobain is definitely quoted as saying, like, we still make records for our true fans, but they don't mind that more people like it, but, don't be, like, a dick about it. You know? Like, don't be...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, one of those kind of people. If you like it, then
I don't really know if they were that political. I mean, they obviously were in the documentary, but I don't know whether...
Yeah, I don't know if they're considered, like, a political band.
I feel like they're not, but... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they would consider themselves. But I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
But I mean, use your voice, as like an artist.
Yeah, I think they were just... I mean, you really had to use your voice where you could, because there was no social media. So if you're on stage, then that's where you have the most people to talk to, or on your album or something like that. The next scene is so funny. It's the funny scene with Dave Grohl just going off on all of the random food that they have. They have like bread and like grapes, and he's just doing all these really weird, funny voices, and I think just is making fun of the whole weirdness of them having
like
all this,
having like cool stuff backstage, but like in the dressing room.
Yeah, like catered. All this like soda.
And it's so him when you watch it. That's just like how he is.
Yeah,
and,
he's like that now.
Been, like so funny and like goofy, and I just love that.
Yeah, it's really funny. I like that segment. That's really good.
And it's so nice to see them having fun. Like, because I think like a lot of people think of Nirvana as like, oh, it's sad. And,
yeah,
like, you know intense. how it ended and like their music and everything, but I mean they were just like cool kids, you know, just having fun and like being young and stuff.
And got sucked up by the man.
Yep.
Who literally just, I guess, like perverted their fame with like money and like all sorts of crazy stuff.
And it's like they didn't want. I don't think that was the goal. I don't think they wanted to be that famous. They just were doing what they loved.
Yeah.
Like,
you want more people to hear it, but like at what cost? You know, like losing your privacy and then all that whole thing with, you know.
I think they were prepared for that. I feel like nowadays people, it's kind of like the reason why a lot of artists get into music, or like they just want to be famous.
Yeah.
They just want money and success and like fame. I don't think obviously Nirvana was one of them, but a lot of punk artists didn't really care about that.
According to Courtney, they wanted it, or Kurt wanted it.
I don't think she's a reliable source.
But yeah, I was gonna say I don't know one person. I mean, I know they wanted to be famous because obviously he wanted to get out of his town and play music and, you know, not be there. But yeah, anyway, we digress because that's like a whole other situation. We're going to talk about Kurt Cobain. The next one, the next live performance we see is by Dinosaur Jr. and the song Freak Scene, which is so great. I think that song is off that album Bug, but it's one of my favorite versions of that song. It's really fast. I really like that song a lot. And then there is a performance from Babes in Toyland. I don't think I have it on my notes where exactly it is in the film, but Babes in Toyland is an amazing, sick, all-girl, like grunge, kind of like, I don't know, maybe hardcore kind of band. I think they're better than Hole, personally.
Me too, but I actually didn't really know them either.
Yeah, so they're great. They're really, really great.
They seem like they're real deal.
Yeah, they're very like L7.
They pretty inspired Hole, to be honest.
Courtney, I believe, used to be in an early version of Babes in Toyland because they're from Minneapolis. Remember, like Courtney was everywhere. She literally was. Out? It was some weird drama. As I've heard, Courtney's supposed to be writing a memoir, so I cannot wait to read it because I want to know like what's.
I will read it.
She was married for a short time to that guy in Faith No More.
Oh,
in England. Yeah, she like lived in England. She went to New Zealand. Right. Like she went everywhere.
I knew she was there, but I didn't know she was married.
Yeah, she was married. I think for less than a year. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she was married for less than a year to like one of the guys in Faith No More. I think.
So random.
Yeah, it's so random. Like it really is just super random. Like she's had like 5 lifetimes. I mean, she really has. I don't get it. And then. One of the guys in Sonic Youth talks about like thirstinitis, which apparently is pretending to know where you're going when you don't in a random city, which I guess is what he does a lot. I mean, he literally is on screen all the time.
He
is. I mean, if you kind of want to know more about Sonic Youth and the early beginning stages, then
he feels really comfortable. Like
I could never. I would be so.
I think he loves it.
Well, yeah, I definitely think he loves it.
I don't think Kim does. I don't think she...
Yeah, I think she's kind of like, okay.
I feel like she's kind of shy and like... I don't think she's very comfortable with like the camera
no.
Like, in front of her. Like,
I don't think I would be. Especially back then when you're not used to people having cameras. Like when they have a camera, it's big and it's in your face, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'd be like, oh God. Like,
it's not like having a small phone.
No, or like someone's filming from far away, like a paparazzi and you can't see them. But... Now, I mean, people are on their phones all the time, you know, saying things in videos and things, so it's a totally
But it's even when you watch them, she's never looking at the camera.
No, yeah.
She knows it's there, but she doesn't, you know.
You don't, like, interact with it.
No, like, Thurston wants to be in front of it.
Yeah, he's doing, like, a news report, it seems like. He's like, hi, everyone.
He looks really cute. I just need to add that.
Oh, Thurston?
He was cute.
Yeah. He does look really good in this documentary, I have to say. I mean, Nirvana just all around always looks so great. Especially just, I don't know, I feel like the outfit that Kurt has with that brown leather jacket.
I love that
And then like the long sleeve shirt and those ripped jeans.
So cool.
And it's so cool. And also he has that guitar that I love. I know nothing about guitars, so I don't even know like what.
I just didn't think he cared about what he was wearing. I think he was just on whatever.
Whatever's clean or whatever's around.
I feel like Sonic Youth actually thought about it.
I think a little bit, yeah.
I kind of remember vaguely hearing that from Kim. about how she needed to have like a style. She actually says that in her book. But,
cool. I've yet to finish
I
the
wouldn't
book.
be surprised if Thurston was like, he thought about what he was wearing, or like,
oh yeah, like let me put
his
this
email.
on.
I don't know actually. But I know Nirvana for sure didn't give a damn about that.
No.
They were just like, whatever.
It's really crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's all this great footage of the crowds too. And it's just really cool that you see everyone really into it and just
so cool, yeah.
And it's cool it's on VHS, so it has that cool nostalgic like home video quality that you used to have back in the day. And then they talk about riders, which I didn't know that means the list of things that you submit to the venue of what you want backstage.
I never knew that either.
So that's so cool, and they all go through. You know, oh, you got this. Like I asked for Coke, but
maybe it's called
like
something
Pepsi.
else now. I don't.
No, it's still called a rider.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I heard someone say it the other day. And I was like, whoa, it's still a rider. That's so weird. I just knew. I always heard about weird things that people would request, like different M&M colors, like only yellow M&Ms, like white flowers in my dressing room, like some celebrities.
Who requests that?
Like just celebrities or like band members. I think one of the boy bands back in the day, it was like one of those teen people articles, like what's the weirdest thing about like Justin Timberlake or someone, and then they're like he likes red M&Ms, like only red, or like something weird like that.
I don't think you get that with rock stars. I think they
it's like
just
booze.
care about they'll be like Jack Daniels, 2 bottles of this, 5 bottles of that. I don't think it's about food that much. I think it's more about alcohol, it's about cigarettes,
drink, and
whatever
drugs. Else. Yeah, whatever else is around, I guess.
Probably. We don't know.
And then we get to Reading, which is obviously like a huge festival in England every year.
I've been there. It's so cool.
Lucky Jai.
Not in the 90s because I was really young, but...
But it's really, and it's one of the Nirvana shows. I think it must be the year after that they filmed the Reading special. I think it was 92.
So lucky for
like the big Reading.
In like
Nirvana
playing.
There's someone who submits to Fashion Grunge all the time, and he I think emailed me or wrote me on Instagram somewhere, and he was there and he sent me the ticket. He sent me like a picture of this ticket. I think he's like 10 years older than us. So he was like a teenager. Wow. And he sent me a picture of like his ticket, or I posted something and he was like, I was there. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool that you saw them. Like, that's amazing.
But they didn't even know then. Like,
no.
They probably didn't know who Nirvana was. It was just like
it was like a big festival, and they'd heard about them, from America, but it wasn't like, like obviously it wasn't what we know now of Nirvana. And then we get our first, and I believe only glimpse of Courtney when Sonic Youth is being interviewed.
Like 2 minutes.
Yeah, in like a tent, and she's standing back behind, and they're like, oh, by the way, this is Courtney. And then she's like, hi.
And she's dying to get in front of that camera.
Yeah, she's literally just like...
When they call her or they mention her name, she's at the back, and then she suddenly gets to the front fairly quickly.
Yeah, and like super fast.
Hi. Like... I'm Courtney, and she says something about like, oh, you want me like, I'm gonna become famous, or you want me to be famous, something about fame. I don't really remember what she says, but she's just being herself. Yeah,
she's just being like, I mean, she was a big reason why they got as big as they did. I mean, because I think if he wasn't with Courtney, I don't know that there would be like as much controversy like swirling around them if they were just in a band and he was either not dating anyone or not married.
Yeah, but still they would have got fame. I think
it
was their music. But
it was the
sure
music.
There was a lot.
But then it became like personal life, and like went into that whole thing. But of course, and all the Reading Festival footage is the best. And all the random footage in the different countries, like when they go to Germany and they have all those weird sausages, and he's like asking about like Thurston's like interviewing the guy who like has the sausage stand and asking where all the sausage is from. Like that's super weird. I don't know.
It's so 90s, like some elements of it.
It's just so like I don't know. It's just so weird, but it's cool. It's just like cool. It's just like you're just watching them and you're just having lots of fun.
You really feel like you're there when you watch it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm on this tour with them, and I want to eat all this food. Like I want to eat these sausages and all this stuff in Germany. It just looks really cool. I just would love to film it. Really, I think it'd be cool just to film it or just to shoot photos of it.
And the way the way it was shot as well, it's just like cool. Like I feel like, I don't know, it just seems so natural. Like, I don't know, I just love that about it. It's just raw but natural, but it's actually quite, the way it's been framed is cool.
Yeah,
Like,
and David Markey did do a lot of Sonic Youth videos at the time and a lot of music video direction.
before this.
Yeah, like before and after.
Okay.
Yeah, so he had kind of, and a photographer
Did he
as
film
well.
it himself?
Yeah.
Oh.
He filmed it,
cool.
photographed it, and edited it, I think,
wow.
too. I think it says at the end that he did everything.
Did Thurston, like, was he part of the editing? Or?
I don't think, he's not credited as an editor, but he's credited as the cover design. You know how it looks like those what do you call it, ransom notes, where like each letter's cut out? I think it says he designed that. So that's title design, I guess, that, or something like that. But I'm sure he was involved in the editing process.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the whole band probably was at some point, because there's probably some bits maybe you just don't want in there.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're doing a film for them, they would be involved in the editing process, because, you know, they want control over what goes out and what doesn't, so.
Yeah, Kim does talk about this in her book, but I don't think she talks about the documentary part. It's more about that experience and being on tour with Nirvana and Kurt. And, like, I mean...
And they met there, didn't they meet?
Yeah, and according to her, she kind of had a special bond with Kurt.
Yeah.
This is what she says. Like, she just felt that they were quite similar, like, introverts, and, like, they... I don't know, they just didn't really care much about being... She kind of talks about how Courtney and Thurston are more, like, similar.
I was going to say that they both are with people that are, like, the opposite of them. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, a lot of people are with people that are opposite. And it was
definitely the beginning with Courtney, because apparently Kurt talks to Kim about how he's kind of, like, crazy about this girl.
Oh, about Courtney?
Yeah. And that they kind of thought, when they met her, they kind of knew, apparently she knew. I don't know if she said I or we knew that it was like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that it was like, yeah. That's so crazy.
So crazy.
Like, if only, man. If only, like, everyone just knew the future. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird to think that all these people watching this band will have no idea that, you know, it'd be one of the biggest bands, first of all, and then obviously the lead singer wouldn't be around. You know, it's just something you don't think of.
Yeah, and there'd be such a huge influence.
Still,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're still talking about it.
It is a band that even, like, young kids know about. Is like Nirvana. Yeah,
because now rappers are talking about Kurt Cobain. They mention Nirvana. They're wearing Nirvana shirts. How many people do you think wear Nirvana shirts who don't know who Nirvana is? Well, or they saw some rapper wear a Nirvana shirt and they're like, oh, that's cool. They might know the band, but they don't know the band.
Music. Yeah.
Just like you were saying about what Led Zeppelin shirts and like Grateful Dead, like people wear all those sorts of things, and it's just the style.
But then also, like, maybe that's not a terrible thing, because maybe, like, some people actually, like, do research on, like, who Nirvana
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know. Who knows?
I know some, like, I know a few 25-year-olds, 24-year-olds, and they're, like, musicians and stuff. Completely different music, but they found out about Nirvana, and then they played it, and they're like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And, like, it's kind of inspired them to make music, but not the same music.
Yeah.
Just, I guess just, you know, like, inspired by it.
Yeah, there's so many bands that are inspired by Nirvana. Like, the Vines is a big one.
Yeah.
They're very much inspired by Nirvana. Like, Mets is a great band, too. Yeah, they're a lot. And they talk about it, too. I also have this weird note that says, boys are gross, and they're talking about lice. You seem to think they were kidding, but I don't know.
I think they were kidding. There's no way they actually had.
Boys are gross. They talk about lice.
Well, they talked about it, but I think it was like as a joke.
Maybe. I guess. It's just, I haven't heard about lice like since I was in like elementary school.
It's really disgusting. So I don't even like thinking about it.
Yeah, it just feels really weird like to talk about it. Then Nirvana plays Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it's just crazy because obviously everybody on planet Earth and beyond probably know that song. It's just cool to hear it. I'm like, wow, this is crazy that they're listening to Smells Like Teen Spirit. Before it was a huge deal. Then there's more amazing footage of backstage with all the food and everything. And then Kurt just waltzes in and like opens that bottle of champagne and
Oh
just
yeah.
sprays it across. I think a lot of people have seen that
He,
footage because that clip is in
hadn't-
something
I
else.
have never seen it.
I think it's in. It might be in that film Live Tonight Sold Out or just in other things. But yeah, that clip is like I've seen that clip of him doing just that. You know, just spraying it around, which is kind of funny. And then they like drag him on the floor because he's like so thin. He's like a little rag doll. Like I think Chris just picks him up by his legs and just drags him across the floor with that jacket on that he made him.
Thin. I don't think you ever really think about that because he was wearing baggy clothes.
Yeah, but some scenes I think he doesn't have a shirt on in one of them, and he's just so thin. I mean, he's just like a boy, like really like a teenage boy. You know, it's just really thin.
A pretty boy.
It's just crazy. I know that he really always looked the same. Yeah, like throughout his probably since he was like 17, and then up until he died, he looked pretty much the same. Well, I mean, he went through like periods of like, you know, short hair, longer hair, whatever, and like different colors and stuff, but basically like he just looked the same. That was pretty funny. And then when Kim Gordon puts lipstick on all of them, she puts like lipstick.
And they love it.
Yeah, they love it. And then she puts it on Kurt.
He's like super happy about having lipstick.
They all are. They're like super ahead of the times. They're not, you know, now it's obviously super normal for anyone to be wearing makeup, really.
Or bands like that band that you love.
What, 1975?
1975.
Okay, their last album and the last stuff's not so great, but, you know, early stuff, yeah, but that's a whole other situation. I thought they were going to save rock. Turns out the Strokes are going to have to do it on their own, so let's hope that the Strokes come out, or Arctic Monkeys comes back.
Not as we knew them.
No, that's true. They've evolved, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Even though we missed, you know, early.
We played old songs when we saw them, which was
and
good.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
they definitely know how to put on a show, which is great. And then towards the end, we just get more amazing footage, another great Sonic Youth song. I think it's Cool Thing. Obviously, if you like Sonic Youth, you know that song. If you don't, then you should be listening to Goo. That's the album that it's on. It's really great. And then it's just more Thurston talking. And yeah, just signing out. So what are your overall thoughts on it? On the film as a whole? I
really loved it. I think it was like, I definitely haven't seen any film like it in like a really long time. And I just love seeing like Kurt, like kind of happy, funny Kurt that you don't really see anywhere else, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love Sonic Youth as well, but I definitely feel like it was a lot of Thurston in it.
Yeah.
Like, I would have liked to see more of the other band members. Like, I feel like they didn't really talk much.
I feel maybe they didn't. Maybe
they
commissioned
did. Maybe
it.
they just
cut it out. Maybe
they didn't feel comfortable being in it that much.
Yeah, so. Maybe they just didn't want to be in it.
That's really funny.
I mean, it's really cool that you see. I mean, obviously we talked about Nirvana a lot in this episode, but it's really cool that you see that they're not the focus. It's cool that they're background characters because you're so used to seeing them friggin' everywhere. And it's cool that they're just not the focus.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Like, they're there, and you see them in the background, and you're like, whoa, that's Kurt Cobain. Whoa, you know, but they're not, and they're not trying to be in front of the camera. They're not like, obviously they weren't as big, so they, you know, they just were going along with it. And then the other bands too, the Ramones are in one song.
Oh my God,
yeah, there's one. There's like
that's
towards
amazing
the end.
to see. Like, you just where do you see that?
Yeah, I forgot. And they're all gone now. The Ramones.
I just think it was like nicely done. I think
it was really well done.
I think it was really cool. I really love how it was shot. Like, it's just kind of, maybe it was planned, but it doesn't seem like it was planned that way. I'm guessing that's a lot to do with the edits. I just definitely recommend it. I don't think anyone can watch this and be like, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine it. Like,
yeah, it's definitely
whether
great.
Whether you're a Nirvana or like Sonic Youth fan, I can't.
Or just alternative rock, like just 90s rock in general. I feel like it's like watching a concert. You'll like it, and everyone should see it once. You know, just
and even if you're like I don't know, like music, sort of. If you're into video photography and like and you love this kind of music, I think that you should definitely watch it because there's nothing like it. I don't think. Like,
no, it's true.
I mean, can you think of any other 90s documentaries like music kind of?
The only one that I'm thinking of that is very much like almost like this, or this might be a parody of, is Madonna's Truth or Dare. The Truth or Dare tour. That was like
I have not seen that.
Oh, that's like a classic.
But what year is that?
90? Maybe 91? I'll have to double check, but I know the Madonna one is like one of the like premiere but it's very stylized though.
Well,
it's not like this.
And also Madonna was like she's
she was a massive pop star.
But also I feel like her personality and everything, she like probably planned what she wanted to say and
definitely.
I can imagine her.
It's more of a movie.
Yeah.
It's not really like no, it's not like this. The only other one I'm thinking of is that revolves around like one artist. Well, is the Nirvana Live Tonight Sold Out? Like that's another one that's like this that is obviously done like I think after he died, but it's way more. I mean, it's Nirvana. I mean, it's very like they're famous. It's very, clip heavy, but I haven't seen any. If there are, like, definitely hit up the email and let me know, because I love to watch this kind of stuff. So maybe there's a whole bunch that I just have to find, because I don't know. I mean, maybe there are a lot. I have no idea. Like, Hole never did anything like this. And, like, I'm trying to think of, like, Hole did anything, or, like, Marilyn Manson, or I'm trying to think of people that I know. I know that a lot of CDs a long time ago used to come with DVDs.
Oh yeah.
Like so, and a few of them had like tour stuff, but it was never like a official. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's some with festivals.
But I wonder if that's something to do more with the type of music, like people who are who made this music, like anything like alternative or punk, they just didn't care about that. It's kind of like it kind of doesn't go with the attitude of like
to be filmed.
It's just about me. I don't think they care about stuff like that. So it's probably why there isn't a lot or like.
Does Radiohead have any? No. Do they have any? I know you're a big radio.
They don't have stuff like this. It's more like
a concert.
Yeah, concerts.
Okay.
I know. Also, they weren't really. I mean, Tom York has obviously changed a lot. Like early Tom York, he was kind of silly in interviews, and he was pretty much like fuck off kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Now he's more like you see him being interviewed at shows like TV shows and stuff like that. And he's vocal about what he does and stuff. But he's also big like climate change kind of supporter. So he's really vocal about that. But they don't have stuff like this.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No,
now there's
videos.
Like YouTube.
Well, it's also people are more into making videos, I guess. But
yeah, that's true.
I think this is like so cool, and I can't imagine like. Maybe some of them did it, but they never really put it out there.
Yeah.
Or maybe
not
it's just
that I know of.
Footage and that.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's a few documentaries of.
I think Blur
scenes.
has.
Do they?
Something like, again, it's like festivals, but there's a bit of talking in between.
Like Oasis, like there's that Live Forever documentary about all the Britpop bands, but it's not like about the one band. No. It's basically about the scene and like the genre. There's another one about the emo scene that I have called Bastards of Young, but it's about the scene. It's not about one or two bands. It's like they just go through all the different, bands in that scene. But
so you think was it like Thurston's idea, or was it the
I think
director that came up with it?
I don't know for sure. It feels very much like David Markey was probably a friend of the band, and they said, "Yo, we're going on tour. Like, you have a video camera, like, film us. Maybe we can do something with it."
Yeah.
I don't think it was, like, I mean, they probably, I don't know if it was their first European tour.
We'll never know.
Yeah, well, unless we find him, and, I mean, he's around. Like, David Markey's around, we could ask.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's another future thing to put on the list. Like, we can ask him and maybe try to get in contact with him.
I wouldn't be surprised if Thurston was like, oh, I want to have this done, and, like...
Yeah, maybe.
It kind of seems to be,
I guess we won't know until we ask. I guess we don't really know the whole backstory.
We see Thurston sometime. If we bumped into him, we could ask.
We can ask him. Hey, what about 1991? What about that movie? Well, yeah, this is the end of this little summary here. So hope you guys enjoyed it and hope you find it. And if you like it, I'll put a link down in the notes about, you know, the movie, the trailer. So maybe you're listening to this and you want to watch it, or maybe you already have and you want to know where to get it. I'll leave that information down there. And yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.